Yeah, we back. And speaking of the Knicks, Julius Randle was a whole lot to handle. Okay, he drills a game winner versus the Heat to extend the Knicks winning streak to 8 games. Yes, you heard me right. 8 games. Is it too early, however, to get excited about the Knicks and what the Knicks got going on? And Anthony, once again, the mic is yours to kick us off.
Why you gonna start with me on this one? Come on, man. It's it's always too early to get excited about the Knicks because they ain't gonna do nothing but blow it anyway. So I don't know what's like when you what you want me to say in this situation is it's been 50 years since they were celebrating losing for 50 years straight the other day. Was that what was going on at the Garden? They had that event over there. They were celebrating because they hadn't won a chip in 50 years. I it's tough because it's not like the Knicks aren't a legitimate title contending team. So I just as much as like I've given Jalen Brunson a lot of props this season. I said he should have made the All Star team. In all seriousness, but the Knicks aren't a legitimate title contender. So why are we getting excited because they won 8 games in a row? Are they going to get out the second round of the playoffs? Most likely not. So there's no reason to get excited, really.
I
Sorry,
mean,
I know y'all Knicks fans. Sorry, but you got to call spade a spade, man. There's no
Zay, it's
reason.
up to you, man. You want me to break it down for him or you want to break it down first? Your call.
I want to talk real quick.
Go ahead. Talk to him.
Because I think when we talk about getting out the first round, I haven't heard the same critique of Donovan Mitchell, who got eliminated by the guy who's on the Knicks right now, Jalen Brunson. He gave him $29 a game against the Utah Jazz last year, a Utah Jazz team that had one of the better role player teams in the NBA, if not the best. They had a defensive player of the year. They had the premier scorer, Donovan Mitchell. Everyone talks about his top five in points per game in playoff history. And he gets kicked out by guys like Jalen Brunson. When we talk about Julius Randle, his ability to score the basketball, he's currently averaging 32 points per game since post All-Star break. The man just shot 43 points with 61% from the field and 64% from the three-point line against the best defensive team in the NBA, and that is the Miami Heat. We talk about what they had to do to get to this point where people were saying fire Tibbs, where people were saying trade Julius Randle, where people were saying RJ Barrett was cost way too much, we shouldn't get him. When people were saying that Jalen Brunson, that was way too much money for a bench player. And they somehow galvanized to this particular moment on an 8-game winning streak, not just playing any kind of bums. We beat the teams like Boston. We beat Philly. We beat what's the other team we beat? We beat a
Beat
couple teams
Miami.
in that top six. We beat Miami twice, one at home, one in their crib. So there's a lot of different situations that's happening in this New York Knicks team that is different. Josh Hart is playing the type of role that the Knicks needed, that gritty defender he's not afraid of causing a foul. He's not afraid of playing aggressive, not afraid of diving on the floor to get that ball, not afraid of just going to coast and taking it up. There's a lot of different dynamics that the Knicks are doing, and I'm not afraid of saying the Knicks right now are the most dangerous team to play in the playoffs because you cannot take hustle away from them. What this team has that a lot of teams in the top six don't have is hustle because they rely on talent to take them there. When we play the Boston Celtics just play talent. Oh, we got the better talent. We're going to take over. The Boston Celtics have one of the more talented teams in the NBA, but they don't hustle. Jason Tatum doesn't hustle like he used to. Jaylen Brown, once he started dribbling the ball way more, he don't hustle like he used to. They take what they did against the Brooklyn Nets last year for granted when they swept them. But that was it. When they arguably shouldn't have beat the Bucks if Chris Middleton was healthy. And people forget about that. People say, oh, the Boston Celtics are the best team in the East, but they didn't play against Chris Middleton in that playoff series. He was hurt the entire series. So it was Giannis and Drew Holiday versus the whole Celtics team. On top of that, Jimmy Butler was a three-ball miss away from taking them out the playoffs. And everyone talks about the Boston Celtics being this top team. They're not that solid. They lack a lot of discipline on that team. And we saw that in the NBA Finals when they played the Warriors. The Knicks right now are showing that grit, the grind to hustle, to defend, and make the most important shots. Julius Randle was explosive last night. He showed out in Miami when the chips were falling down, when Jalen Brunson had that twisted ankle, when Mitchell Robinson had the tweak in his injury, and there was really nobody else on the team that could do something. It was Julius Randle that took it upon himself to take the game, put the team on his back, and carry them. Now, I understand it's a regular season game. The playoffs implications are different. But when we look at what is ahead, There's potential they might play Cleveland. They may play Philly. Those two teams lack discipline. They lack hustle. They don't play 48 minutes of hustle basketball. But the Knicks are showing on its 8-game winning streak, even from January 2nd, that they're hustling at a pace that these teams cannot catch up with. They're changing the tempo. They're going from just slowing the ball up to just speeding right past you on a possession to possession basis. This is something different from what we're used to from a Tibbs coach team. They're showing they're bought in. They're showing they're ready to rock and roll. And a lot of teams cannot work with them. And I understand we're just talking about regular season, but imagine in the playoffs in a 7-game series, a talent can't take you alone. Remember that talent's only so much. You have to show the hard work. Something that Donovan Mitchell has yet to show us in the playoffs. He falls off every single playoff. Even when he's the favorite, he falls off every single playoff. He'll have a 30-point game one game, the next 2-3 games, 12, 13, 14. That's his makeup. That's what Donovan Mitchell does. The Knicks, I'm not afraid if the Knicks play Cleveland first round because I think we're going to that second round. I'm not afraid of Cleveland because Cleveland has shown us time and time again, if they don't have LeBron, you cannot rely on them. And that's how I feel.
Can I just ask you? I just got two questions for you, real quick. First, because you said all that about Donovan Mitchell, and weren't the Knicks ready to damn near give up their whole roster for Donovan Mitchell at the beginning of the season? Can't be that bad. That's one. And two, with all the good you said about the Knicks and all the bad you said about these other teams, do you think that the New York Knicks can beat Milwaukee, Philly, Boston in a 7-game series?
It's possible. It's not likely because we're talking about, like I said, hustle versus talent.
At least you said not likely because anything is possible. Yes.
No. Anything. All right. My thing is this. My thing is this. In a 7-game series, we're talking about right now. 7-game series going against Cleveland. I got the Knicks. We're talking about Philly versus Knicks right now. I got the Knicks. The only two teams you can really question is Boston and Milwaukee. And Milwaukee is only because of Giannis. I'm not afraid of nobody else on that team. And then on Boston, you just got to configure what Tatum are we getting. Because the Tatum that we just seen, the last 2 games, the Boston versus Knicks, we're cooking them. The Knicks just took out Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown the last 2 games. So it's something that we're seeing that the boys, like these teams are not the same. They don't have the same makeup of, stars are the stars are the way to win championships. Stars are the way to this and that. Because when you're talking about a talent perspective, there's a lot of teams that have more talent than the New York Knicks. But the New York Knicks are the ones that's showing up and beating them by 20 points in these games. If you look at the Atlanta Hawks roster, you look at the Knicks roster, a lot of people will favor the Atlanta Hawks roster. The Atlanta Hawks can't touch us right now. It's just not happening. And that's how it is with a lot of these teams. They don't show that grit and grind that the Knicks are showing currently. And that's why they're getting swept out in their home court.
What was the last team that won the chip without being led by stars? Maybe the Pistons in 2006?
You can say that. Yeah, Pistons.
I mean, look, I say this, man. When you talk about anything is possible, right? Yeah, anything is possible, man. I could date Rihanna soon, With that being said, should I get excited about the Knicks? Yes, I should be hella. Okay, I'm gonna use the word hella. Use some slang up in here. Yes, I should be hella excited to be a New York Knickerbocker, man. I don't want to get too emotional on the show, but man, like it feels good, man. Watching your team do their thing on a nightly basis. Like I have something to watch. I can watch my Knicks on a regular basis and not turn off the TV, not leave during commercials and not come back. I can watch them. And it all starts with the signings that we made. And I think when you talk about free agent signing, trade deadline signing, we literally had the 2 best signings in both of those things. When you talk about impact, forget about the names, forget about the Kevins, forget about the Kyries. When you talk about the impact on both sides, offensively and defensively, Josh Hart defensively, Jalen Brunson offensively, it's made this team where it is today and where it's going and where it's headed. Now, should we get excited about winning the championship? No, obviously no. But should we be excited but be mindful of our expectations in the short term? Yes, we should. Because long term, I see the light. And that's why I'm excited. Because it's not only about the day, it's about tomorrow. Tomorrow is existing, right? Tomorrow's going to come. So we got to be ready for tomorrow as well. So if we can build on today, then we're going to see a better tomorrow. And that's why I'm excited about the Knicks. You talk about Jalen Brunson, right? And now he's able to carve up a defense like a steak, okay, with his craftiness, right? When you talk about all the guys, Julius Randle that we have on our team, it starts with Jalen Brunson. He brought infectious energy from the summertime to our team. This team first mindset It's not about me. It's about the team. 2 games ago, he scored 30 in the first half. 30. You know what he could have said? I'm trying to outdo Dame. I'm trying to outdo Donovan Mitchell. I want me a 70 burger. He said, you know what? Nah, I'm going to take one shot in third quarter. I'm going to set up my teammates and let them get going. And guess what? That's a good teammate. So now everybody has bought in. Everybody, right? You talk about, let's go down the list. You talk about Josh Hart deflecting all the praise. You know, we 8-0 since your arrival. Nah, ain't got nothing to do with me, right? Let's go to Julius Randle. He came in the press conference. I remember this media day right before the training camps. His energy was infectious. I'm like, all right, this guy's gonna be that all-star that he was the 2 years ago. Okay, I saw it when I saw him at that press conference, bro. All by his attitude, like he meditated, like he was ready to replicate that year that he had when he was an all-star. And guess what? He's an all-star now, right? Okay, cool. You talk about RJ Barrett and his sacrifice. He's supposed to be the face of the franchise. So you know what? Fine. I'm gonna sacrifice playmaking, because I'm gonna accommodate Jalen Brunson, who's clearly the vocal point of the offense, vocal point of the team, period. Right. So we have guys that have sacrifice. We have guys that cheer on one another. We have guys that are not selfish. We have guys that are gritty. We have guys that are going to dive on the ball, dive on the floor for the loose balls. We have guys that are going to put their all. And you know what? Talent, Zay is right. Talent will get you far. It will get you far in life when you're talented. But if you work extra hard, you can meet that talent on the same playing field, brother. So you know what? I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. The Knicks are winning the first round series this year. And we need to be excited about that. I don't care if we play Cleveland. I don't care who we play. We're going to win the first round. Okay, we are. And that's how I'm going to leave it. So, yes.
What was your expectations for the Knicks at the beginning of the year?
What was my expectations? I said 6 seed.
Both
6 seed, probably first round exit. But I don't feel that way no more.
I said 42 wins.
And in the first round exit?
Oh, I don't even know. I just said 42 wins because I know for me that the most wins the Knicks ever had with Tibbs was 41. So I was saying they was going to get 42 wins. At that point, I thought it was going to be a playing team because 42 and 40, I didn't see top 6.
Okay, so then you know what? I apologize. Y'all should be happy. Because y'all expectations are so low that if they get an 8-game win streak, you should be happy. I'd be happy too.
No, I mean, look, man. We gotta take baby steps, man.
And
we gotta take baby steps.
Then you gotta celebrate that. You gotta celebrate the small wins. So I get it. You know what?
I got one more.
I apologize.
To be completely honest, right? I'm gonna say this real quick before Leel get in, right? Jalen Brunson. I had a couple of talks with my friends off air. Before the season started, the group consensus, Jalen Brunson was a top 20 point guard when we signed him. We signed him. He was a top 20 point guard. We were signing a bench player. Julius Randle, we're trading him. Obi's gonna be the starter. Tibbs gonna get fired. Johnny Bryant, Sam Cassell, or Kenny Atkinson's gonna be the new Knicks head coach. Emmanuel Quickly will be the starting point guard at some point in the game if Jalen Brunson doesn't work out. A lot of these things, it was heck crazy because before the season started, I didn't see where the Knicks were going with Jalen Brunson as a starting point guard. He was the point guard that the Knicks have had the last 10, 15 years. That's arguably the most talented out of everyone we ever had the last 10, 15 years. Didn't see it to the point where he may be arguably, and this is a hot take, don't care, that Jalen Brunson may be right now currently the second best point guard to ever touch the basketball in New York Knicks. That's how crazy his impact has been right now. Clyde is number one. After that, you could say Jalen Brunson is better than everybody else that played point guard for the Knicks after Clyde Frazier because there's no one else who's done it to the impact and magnitude of what he's doing for the Knicks right now. He's the primary cause for the guys playing the way they are. He is dominant. They can't leave him on a one-on-one coverage. He's cooking everybody on offense, and it doesn't make sense because everything is inside that three-point line. He is getting to the paint with ease and getting to the cup with a layup, getting the and ones, causing the contact, causing the physicality. No one can play him one-on-one. They have to put wing players on him. So now Creighton Grimes open in the three-point line. You got RJ open in the corner. You got Julius Randle taking guys out the paint, and you have to guard him at the three-point line. It's unprecedented how much impact this one player has on the team and what it caused the offense to flow and do. And that's why, for me, everything that I expected going into the season has been exceeded to unimaginary levels. I did not anticipate the Knicks being a top 5 fighting for the number 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, let alone a top 10 record in the NBA.
Check this out, because I heard it. I heard when we was trying to trade for Mitchell, that guy that we wanted to bring up, people was like, we probably not even a 6 seed. We probably barely a 6 seed, even if we get Donovan Mitchell. So you mean to tell me we're gonna trade all the assets to be at the 6 seed when we currently right now the 5th seed? Come on. And now you look at Julius Randle, who Zay mentioned it, in his first lap about his game after the All-Star break, right? He scored 46, 28, 23, 21, and 43. Okay, but it's not only that, it's the fact that he's developing from the three-point line, knocking down 176 from deep in 63 games. Brunson, although most of his work is inside the three-point line, he has a career high from the three-point line this year with the Knicks, right? So both Brunson and Jalen Brown, right? Not Jalen Brown, Jalen Randall, excuse me, Julius Randle, they are elevating their games. Now imagine if we get RJ Barrett on that same type of timing to elevate his game to another level. Now we probably won't even need a superstar. All you need to do is surround this team with role players, and we good to go. And I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm excited.
One
It's
last take, and I want to ask. I want to ask Ant real quick because at this point, the Knicks are playing at an all-time level, right? They're playing higher than anyone's anticipations. But let's say after the season, we're looking forward for like I've passed this season, past the postseason. They don't win a championship, they don't make second round, whatever. What is next for them to upgrade? Because now you're seeing everyone elevating. Emmanuel Quickly, Quinn Grimes, all these guys are elevating. At what point is there a player out there that should be the Knicks should go after and say he elevates our team to title contenders? He elevates our team to Eastern Conference Finals. Is there a guy out there for the Knicks, or do they have to go to the difficult route and try to groom guys and get these guys developed into a championship level team?
That's a tough question because again, this is a superstar driven league, and superstars honestly don't come along every day. So it's really, and it seems to be very hard for the Knicks to get a superstar. Um, so moving forward again, I don't see, barring like a major blockbuster trade, I don't see the Knicks being serious title contenders within the next 3 to 5 years. I just don't see it. Because again, superstars just don't, like who are the Knicks gonna go out and get? Are they gonna be able to get Giannis? He's under contract. Are they gonna be able to get Kevin Durant? He's under contract and he's on a winning team now, so he ain't going nowhere. Are they gonna be able to get Steph? He's not leaving Golden State, so it's like who would the Knicks realistically be able to bring in as a superstar that could to make them legitimate contenders? And then the other part of that is okay. Well, then are you waiting on draft picks and guys to develop? That takes time. So again, I don't see them at least for the foreseeable future. For the next after that, the next 3 to 5 years, I can't say what's going to happen after that. But again, within 3 to 5 years, you're going to be talking about Julius Randle on a decline at that point in his career because he's going to be a lot older. He's going to start coming down. Hopefully, the young guys develop, but we don't know because the Knicks have been hit or miss with their young guys. You drafted Kevin Knox in the first round, flop. You drafted RJ Barrett in the first round. I like RJ, I'm saying, it's a blue devil, but he hasn't elevated his game the way even I thought that he would elevate his game at this point in his career. The rest of those guys, nobody's looking like a potential all-star.
So let me go back to my point about RJ Barrett because I referenced it as I was closing my second lap when I talk about how Brunson was able to elevate his game to another level, how Randall was able to elevate his game this year to another level. If we get that same type of elevation and progression from RJ Barrett, would you consider us then, with a couple pieces that we can surround these guys with to be a legitimate title contender? I'll leave it like that.
No. Um Outside of RJ developing to a legitimate superstar, no, because as of right now, because even RJ Barrett as an all-star, the Knicks aren't a legitimate title contender. Like if RJ Barrett made the All-Star team, I still don't see the Knicks beating Boston. I still don't see them beating Philly. I still don't see them beating the Bucks. I don't see them beating Phoenix. I don't see them beating Golden State if they're healthy. I I don't see them beating Denver. There's so many teams that I don't see them. For me to say they're a legitimate title contender, like you got to be at least, I would say, ranked in like the top 6 of teams to be a legitimate title contender. And RJ Barrett, just as an all-star, isn't that. And he's a ways from being an all-star, but he's far away from being a superstar. So I won't know until we see that, at least that jump to all-star level.
We'll have to see, man. Look, at the end of the day, the NBA players, they request trades at an alarming rate, bro. So once they feel,
I want RJ to elevate, because again, I'm a Duke fan, so I want RJ to elevate to that level, but I just don't see it as of right now.
I mean, fair game. Hopefully, when we win our first round series, because I'm calling it into existence that we're going to win our first round series, then maybe we'll have a disgruntled superstar. We get them every year that say, I want to play for the Knicks. And now there's not a lot of pressure to try to win there because we already winning. And they can just come out alone. But anyway, I'm going to leave it at that.
Please like and subscribe for all the up-to-date content. You've been slinging shows left and right, slinging content left and right. Please don't miss anything. If you do, like, subscribe, leave a comment, or leave a question, something you may want to answer, something you may have. All ideas are great ideas. Nothing's a dumb question.